Retirement? That's so far away. I'll never get there. I'll deal with it later. Or more to the point, your children will deal with it when they throw you in an old age home because you didn't deal with it now. In this video, the third in our series, we'll discuss more fundamentals on investing, namely saving in an IRA or 401k plan. Hello to all you financial people out there, and welcome to Just the Tax, my little channel about spreading the good word of financial literacy. So it's not just the tax. A quick shout out to the folks at the Collegiate Financial Management Association's University of Maryland College Park chapter. Go Terps! I'm making these vids because this is stuff I wish someone would have told me when I was first starting out. And again, today we're going to talk about retirement plans, IRAs, 401ks, you get it. So like anything, let's start with some definitions. What are retirement plans? Well, think of them as a bucket that you can put different kinds of assets in. They're governed by ERISA, which is a federal law. And this brings up a term that you may hear a lot, qualified versus non-qualified. Qualified means it's eligible for the tax preferential treatment that ERISA sets up, and non-qualified is just a regular investment account. There's two different kinds of retirement plans. There's traditional versus Roth. Traditional, you get a tax deduction when you make the contribution, but it's taxable when it comes out. And a Roth is the opposite. You don't get a tax break when you put it in, but when it grows tax-free, and when it comes out, it's tax-free. The general wisdom is that younger folks should be setting up a Roth IRA first. Okay, let's play retirement bingo. There's like an alphabet soup of these things. So let's talk about our IRAs. You got traditional IRAs. IRA, by the way, stands for Individual Retirement Account. You got a Roth IRA, non-deductible IRA, SEP IRA, which stands for Simplified Employee Pension. We'll talk about that in a minute. And then we got 401k, and there's Roth 401k, there's 403b, 457 plans, there's UniKs, and on and on and on. In this video, we're going to focus on IRAs and 401ks. IRAs. Generally, as we said earlier, younger people should set up a Roth IRA first. This is due to income phase-outs. In other words, as you start out in your career, you're not going to earn as much, but as you climb the corporate ladder and develop your professional skills, your salary will increase to the point where you'll get phased out of the ability to contribute to a Roth. Also, there's this thing called backdoor conversions, which depending on when you're watching this video, they're either threatened or they're no longer available. And then there's this something called a non-deductible IRA, which it's not necessarily bad. You get something called basis, meaning some of that money that you contribute without a deduction, non-deductible, right? It can come out tax-free, and for estate purposes, you can pass on that basis to your descendants. Then we have SEP IRAs. So this is for freelancers, side hustlers, all your Uber and Lyft drivers and DoorDashers out there. If you have self-employment income, you can contribute to a SEP IRA. The benefit of this is twofold. One, generally speaking, you can put more into it than a traditional Roth or a non-deductible IRA. And you have until what we call the due date plus extensions, meaning the IRAs, you have until April 15th, the due date of the return, to fund it. With the SEP IRA, you have until October 15th, so you get much more time, and it's a very useful tool for self-employed folks. Now let's talk about 401ks. These are company-sponsored plans. They have mandatory employer matches, and so you at least want to contribute enough to get that match. So depending on how generous your employer is, they might give 1 to 3% of your 5%. So you contribute at least 5% and you'll get their match. Ideally, you want to max it out as soon as you can, for as long as you can, because even if you can only put a smaller amount away earlier in your career, that is better than putting a lot away towards the end of your career due to the time value of money. So max it out as soon as you can. 401ks can also have the Roth versus traditional flavor. And again, if you're under 40, do the Roth. 403b plans are another kind of retirement plan, but those are on the nonprofit government side. Now, the number one thing here is don't take that money out. Once it's in there, leave it in. Now, if you're in a situation in life where you have to take the money out first, at least see if your plan allows you to take a loan from the 401k that you pay back. Don't take that money out. Don't take that money out. Don't take that money out. If you get nothing else from any of this, don't take that money out. So nowadays, people don't stay that long at employers. The days of spending your entire working career with a single employer, they're long in the past. We change jobs a lot. So you're going to have a 401k at one employer, maybe several employers. So then there's a question, do you roll it over or not? Well, here's some arguments for not rolling it over. In other words, you leave a job, but you keep your retirement account at that employer. One is that in theory, ideally, they should have professional management administering that plan. Their fees may be lower compared to what you could get on your own, and it should remain in compliance with ERISA. And also, there are some arguments for rolling it over. One is you may have more and or better investment choices if you bring it into your own IRA account. You'll have greater control over your own money. And also if you don't trust that employer. Larger employers is one thing. Smaller employers, maybe you don't want to leave it with them. Having said all that, you want to be aware of investment advisors, wealth management professionals out there that pressure you to roll it over. You have to do what's right for you. What are some pitfalls here? Not participating, at least do something. The next pitfall is taking the money out early. That has several problems. One, obviously you're losing out on future growth. If it's not in the plan, it's not doing anything for you. The other thing is the cliff effect. That is where a little bit extra income can trigger an outsized effect on your taxes. It could bump you up into a different tax bracket, phase you out of credits and other benefits. You really got to be careful about taking that money out. The other thing is falling victims to schemes, such as putting real estate in a self-directed IRA. Oh, for the love of God, please don't do that. Please, please, please don't put real estate in an IRA. Please don't do that. If you get nothing out of this video, don't put real estate in an IRA. Another pitfall that people make is obsessing over every little change or piece of news. Remember, if you're just starting out in your career, retirement money is sacred, right? Put it in there and let the fund manager, let the administrators manage it for you. Don't obsess over it. Just your job, all you got to do, just that dollar cost averaging we talked about in the second video in the series, keep putting it in. So set it. Now don't forget about it, but don't obsess over it either. It's a process. It's a mindset. The other pitfall that people make is they'll put their money just in a money market within the plan and not actually get exposure to the stock market itself through those mutual funds. So you want to make sure that once you're putting money into this plan, that it's actually invested in the market through a diversified portfolio. And the other pitfall that people make is putting all their assets in the company stock. And that's great. You want to show your support for the company, but don't do that. You need to have diversification in your retirement plans. Most important thing. So how can you get started now? Well, commit to learning. Read books and articles from trusted sources. Avoid get-rich-quick schemes. If it sounds too good to be true, it usually is, just like we talked about in the first couple of videos. But also you want to build a habit. Adopt the right mindset. Make sure you're setting aside money for a rainy day account, and also you're contributing to your company's plan, at least to the point where they match you, but beyond that, if you can max it out, do so. And if you don't have access to a 401k plan or 403b or whatever, open up an IRA and start putting money into that. Pay yourself first. Set it up. Don't obsess over it. Let the process work. Remember, your job is to just fund this thing over time. We'll part here with Ben Franklin made a gift to the city of Boston, right? And he said, here's some money, but you can't access it for a couple hundred years or something like that. And so when they finally did, the little bit of money he put in was worth several millions of dollars, and it benefited the city. The last little thing we'll talk about here is retirement money is sacred. Don't treat it like gambling. Your job, just keep putting money in as much as you can every month, and just do that. All right, my fellow financial people, thank you for watching this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. And in the comments below, post some requests for topics you'd like me to cover in future videos. In the meantime, may your profits be high, your taxes low, and I'll see you next time back at Just the Tax.